YouTubers, I am the Weather Dude, and this is special coverage of the tornado outbreak in the southeast and the severe weather outbreak, and it will also move into the northeast tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to start out by looking at the radar imagery here. One piece here on the radar, you can see it's especially very strong here. If I move this over here, and if you zoom in into Mississippi, okay, so there's Tuscaloosa, Alabama here. This is the state line, right about there. And you can see there's a very heavy cell that's moving just to the west of Tuscaloosa right now that will continue to move through. Just watch that band and how it all just erupts from the south and west here. Okay, and the rainfall rates have been very catastrophic. We've had lots of tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings issued as well. Okay, and let's look at that more a little bit closer on this radar here. So, first of all, looking at some flash flood warnings actually from places like Starkville and Columbus, right on the Mississippi-Alabama border here, and they said up to 6 inches of rain has actually fallen already, and any flash flooding or any additional rain will cause flash flooding potentially. Okay, moving up to the north here, you can see. This map is just lit up with warnings. I kind of taken the watches off because you can't really see anything with the watches on there, but there's a lot of watches as well. And here is actually, if we move up into, I believe this is Arkansas. Yes. So we move up in Arkansas here. This line passed through Russellville here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. This line could produce excessive straight line winds for Stone County, Perry, Searcy, Van Buren counties, northwestern Lonoke County, and the list goes on here. Faulkner County and central Arkansas here. And you can just see it's moving right over, or it's right on top of Route 65 right now. Matter of fact, by that time, it probably already passed over Route 65 and it's heading towards Route 167 and Route 67 in Arkansas. And this will eventually be moving into Tennessee, because here's Memphis. Okay, and here's another piece down here, severe thunderstorm warning. Winds moving, look at this. This line of thunderstorms is moving east at 70 miles per hour. Okay, and because it is moving so fast, okay, in this particular zone, we'll be looking at excessive damaging winds here, at least 70 mile an hour winds. Okay, and hopefully in my next video I'll be able to pull up the storm reports map just to show you guys. Hopefully I'll be able to find it, how many severe weather reports there were, hail, wind, tornadoes, and everything. So 70 mile an hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. So the hail could always be larger than that, but looks like the hail is on a little bit on the lighter side with this. But this should be taken very seriously still. Okay, this is radar indicated. Hail damage is expected, tree damage, and as always, power outages is always a possibility with these. What you see a ton of on this map is these red areas. And that's not the tornado warnings. I know you might think that, but these are all river flood warnings. Okay, they're called flood warnings, but they mean river flood warnings. Okay, so here's an example here. Flood warning to Mississippi River in Arkansas County. The stage was 43.4 feet. Flood stage is 37. Okay, so we're at least 6 feet. We're at least 6 feet above that flood stage. So these storms dropped a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time. Let's head north, right in the northwestern part of Georgia. I was watching this before I made this video here. I was watching this area. Okay, this is the tornado warning, okay, for central Murray County, northwestern Georgia, and southeastern Whitfield County in northwestern Georgia as well. Okay, severe thunderstorms capable of producing a tornado was located near Tilton and near Dalton, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. Okay, so this one's moving fast as well. Okay, here's that area, but it's moving a little bit slower than the other one we were talking about. So the hazard is tornado, and this is radar indicated rotation. Very dangerous conditions is certainly possible here, okay, and they're very likely actually. So flying debris will be very dangerous. Okay, so you might want to, you really want to get into that lower level of your home here. Let's actually go to a flash flood warning. Okay, in Madison County here. Up to 2 inches of rain have already fallen, and any more rain is just going to overwhelm the storm drains here, and just so much flooding. Because even when there's not that much of a severe weather threat, there's so much yellow covering the map, and all that rain and severe weather is just moving through. Before I switch maps, want to real quick look at a line that I'm surprised hasn't been really warned upon yet. I don't see any warnings on this. Right here, okay, there's no actual warnings with it. There's just river flood warnings that have been sitting there for a while. So I would watch this area right here and this area right here for any potential warnings to arise here. So we're talking about Aliceville, Carlton, near maybe Winfield as well. So some areas to watch out near US 78, I-22, US 43. And we're talking about here in the state of western Alabama near Tuscaloosa. Alright, so we're going to switch maps real quick to actually show you that this will move in. We'll probably get to this a little bit later in the video, but moving into the northeast in the mid-Atlantic on the eastern seaboard tomorrow. Alright, so just to kind of show you that. So let's actually look at the radar site here in northwestern Georgia. Okay. And first of all, let's look at the base reflectivities so you guys are able to see. And look at that. Northwestern Georgia, a lot of reds here on the map. Okay, so those reds on the radar mean very heavy rain, tornadic activities possible, and those red boxes indicate tornado warnings that are moving along, and it's now near Dalton, all the way up in northern central Georgia. So Blairsville is over here. You know, some of the mountainous areas over here in this region. Hopefully that should miss Blairsville, but we're going to have to see as we the threat for severe weather is just going to keep ramping up here. Let's look at the 1 hour rainfall, because these have been producing, even without the tornado threats and the severe weather threats, they have been producing a lot of rainfall. As a matter of fact, some of the rainfall rates here have exceeded an inch of rain per hour. Now, these cells aren't probably going to last a full hour because they're moving through so quickly, but an inch of rain in an hour, so if you had an inch of rain in an hour, the rainfall rates, that means in 15 minutes we'd see about 0.15 inches of rainfall. You can kind of think of it like that. But look at the storm total rainfall that we had so far. We've had, over northern Alabama, we've had 2.5 inches of rain in a few spots, but a widespread 1.5 to 2 inches of rain already in northern Alabama. We're actually going to be able to see it better on this map. So let's pull up Weather Channel Radar here, and if you scroll down past 24-hour precipitation to show you where we really got some rain and why we're prompting these flood warnings. Okay, catastrophic flooding here. So just between actually, I hope I'm saying this right, Kosciuszko and Carthage, okay, headed northeast near Route 25, just south of Starkville and Columbus here. Right in that pink region, we've seen over 5-6 inches of rain just in the past 24 hours here, just from these set of storms. And let me just zoom out so you get a more broad picture. All these yellow areas have seen at least 1.5 inches of rain in the past 24 hours, probably related to the severe threat. Okay, and where we see these orange areas, that's where we've seen at least 2.5-3 inches of rain here in the past 24 hours. So the rainfall is just another thing just to tack on to the flood threat that we have, or to the severe weather threat that we have. So very dangerous conditions out there. Matter of fact, let's actually go to these storm relative velocities so you can kind of show you that rotation signature. So zooming in here, I know it might be a little bit hard to see. Okay? Right there, if you go northwest of Dalton, so just so northwest of Dalton, okay. Actually, it's right near southeast of Dalton. That's kind of worn out. You can see briefly the greens and the reds are touching right about here. If you look right there, but the green has kind of faded out a little bit. There's actually a little cell up there just to the northwest of Dalton. Maybe that'll get a warning as well. But we're just going to watch these cells and squall lines that keep continuing to move out of Alabama into Georgia. They are moving from west to east. So, I mean, when you look at this, I mean, torcons here are 7, so 70% chances of tornadoes. And here it is, okay, moderate. Anywhere in that enhanced and moderate zone especially is where we're going to need to really watch out for that threat. And anywhere in those hatched lines, those little dotted lines here, we're really going to need to watch out for the severe threat there. All right, let's look at tomorrow briefly. Let's briefly look at tomorrow, because the eastern seaboard needs to be prepared. Okay, anywhere in that yellow and orange color, especially from Philadelphia, all the way down to the eastern seaboard, all the way down to a place like Apalachicola, Florida, okay, and everywhere in between. You're going to really need to watch for damaging winds, hail, and just all the severe weather threats you could pretty much think of. While the tornado risk will be a little bit lower tomorrow, there's still a significant significant threat here of tornadoes. Southern Virginia through the Carolinas here, and still at least 10% chances all the way up north into. But the percentages are depending on what website you look at, what weather company you look at, because the tornadoes in this region will be 3 to 5, meaning 30 to 50% chance of a tornado within a 50-mile radius. Okay, so still significant severe weather to deal with tomorrow. But going back to the radar here, let's actually look a little bit farther north. Okay, because one area you're really going to need to watch for flooding is going to be the Appalachian mountain chain. All right, so here's Knoxville. Okay, Asheville's right here. So there's Asheville, and there's the Appalachian Mountains running right down the middle there. And we're gonna watch as the rain from the south and west is gonna continue to move off to the east, and a very heavy band of rain. Okay, so this might get a severe warning or potentially a flood warning because I see little mountain icons. So there's probably a mountainous areas here. But watch out, Lantana to Spring City in Tennessee is a very heavy band of significant precipitation. Okay, the DBZs are looking very high. There's also an area of red moving right into Cleveland right there. Line there all of a sudden. So these lines, okay, just form out of nowhere, and they can form in no time at all. Okay, now looking at the NAM 3KM model here, okay, I'm going to show you about 9 o'clock here is 10 o'clock. Now, I know what you're thinking, the joules per kilogram, our daytime heating, okay, in the central Louisiana and Mississippi is a lot. We do have some in the Georgia as well, but instability, we have it, but it's not the greatest, like, we don't have the most instability in the world, but it's definitely going to get us by here with the severe weather outbreak. What I really want you to focus on is those white bar right there. See how that's the surface winds, and they're all coming out of the south, as you can see, feeding off that Gulf of Mexico moisture. What you also have to look at is, well, ignore the yellow one because that's way up in the atmosphere, but what I really want you to focus on is that green one, and those are the winds at 5,000 feet, and they're coming in from the south and west, while the surface winds are coming in from the south. So that's what creates your rotating storms. That's what creates your tornadoes. That's shear. Okay, we have a lot of shear to deal with as well. So as we move in through time here, eventually we could get a little bit of instability, some joules per kilograms moving into the mid-Atlantic, but it won't be quite as much. Okay, but one thing we're still going to have is the moisture. Okay, and the dew point values here will be well into the 60s, even into the northern mid-Atlantic, and as we move through the southeast here, well into the 70s and close to 80. Okay, so everybody stay safe, stay vigilant, and we just don't want to let your guard down at any point in time because the severe weather will last through the night. And if we take one last look real quick at the NAM, so you can kind of see the timing here. Very destructive thunderstorms are going to be moving through the southeast. Places like Mississippi, Alabama should be done by the time you early birds get up Monday morning, 6 a.m. Moving through southeastern Georgia. Yeah, through the late morning, early afternoon. Take a look at this complex of storms right, moving through D.C., Baltimore, moving up through Philadelphia. Okay, that's gonna be your severe weather threat. But one thing I did really want to point out, if you go to Witty.com, and the modeling is making me very nervous with this, especially in the northern parts of the Mid-Atlantic. Real quick, if you take a look at the European model. Okay, this is Monday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Check out the winds in Philadelphia. I'm actually going to switch it over to miles per hour because I'm more familiar with that. 72 mile an hour wind gusts in Philadelphia, 65 in Baltimore, and 65 in D.C. for Monday at 2 p.m. Okay, and you head down towards the shoreline. Okay, it's going to be, we're talking about hurricane force wind gusts possible. Okay, this storm is very dynamic. Okay, you just look at the pressure. Okay, the pressure iso lines, okay, are just going to be very intense. So they're going to be very packed together, and this is just not what we need to see in this region, the southeast and the mid-Atlantic. It is not what we need to see. So zoom out. There you go. There you can see these tightly packed iso lines are going to shove all those winds. And not to mention, we have a high pressure out here, low pressure here, so that wind is getting funneled right through. So that's why the Northeast, we're going to have a destructive wind threat. Actually, my county is under a high wind warning already for Monday. So everybody stay safe, stay vigilant. Again, the storm threat should be over tomorrow morning through the southeast. East Coast, they're going to need to watch out. Tomorrow is going to be your big day. But even without the severe weather on the East Coast, one of your biggest threats is going to be the rain and the wind. So some straight line wind threats are going to be remaining high on the eastern seaboard. So hopefully my next video will be my next hurricane outlook. So stay tuned for that. And consider checking out my website as well. I will try my best to update that. I am the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time. Thank you for watching.